What's going on, Socialites? Welcome back to another Pokemon Unite video, and we got a game update, balance changes coming on Wednesday the 18th at 12 o'clock midnight Pacific Daylight Time, so I think for me that'll be 3 a.m., something like that. I'll be asleep. But anyway, I'm sure with this will be the Blissey update that we talked about earlier, but also we got some bug fixes and some balance changes. So let's go over the balance changes real quick, at least what they are telling us. So Crustle getting some nice buffs here on its moves aren't being used, so nothing on Shell Smash or X Scissor, but Stealth Rock getting a cooldown reduction and damage increase. That's pretty nice. And Rock Tomb getting a damage increase as well. Garchomp is getting a movement speed buff, which is always nice. And Bulldoze is getting a damage increase, so that'll help Garchomp in the early game. And Dragon Rush is getting a cooldown decrease, so that's very nice for sure. So Garchomp getting some buffs. Don't know if it'll still be enough, but at least with the Bulldoze buff and the movement speed buff, it can help, Gibble and Gabite in the early game a little bit. Alright, now we got some nerfs here. Slowbro getting nerfed. Surf, the duration of the effects being decreased. So less CC, less kind of like knock up on those surfs. Definitely a big blow to Slowbro. Bro to Slowbro. Low, slow, blow, bro. Anyway, Skull getting some bug fixes and a damage buff, so maybe, unless the duration effects are basically non-existent now, I think Surf is still better. You get those 3 hits. Does very well, but who knows? Try out Scald. Snorlax. Getting a bunch of nerfs. Heavy Slam getting a damage decrease. Block getting the duration of effects decreased, so the stuns won't last as long. Those stuns were amazing with Block. Definitely Block's going to be more now about pushing crowd control, I guess, but those stuns really help you. If you could stun a couple people and let your team kind of gank up on them. Flail's getting a move upgrade. Now this could be a bunch of different things. We'll have to see when the game finally updates what it really is. So more on that. Will Flail now compete with Heavy Slam? I'm not so sure. Heavy Slam with that knock up is very nice. And Snorlax your defender, so you're not looking for big damage from him, but you need something. And then this is a big nerf. Power Nap HP restoration decrease. You would just go straight back up to full with Power Nap, so I wonder how that is going to be now. That's kind of scary, because not that Power Nap was a great Unite move. It had a pretty small radius, didn't really do too much damage other than the initial damage. So, yeah, gonna be real sad with that. Alright, Greninja getting some nerfs as well. So Greninja took Cinderace, or, is competing with Cinderace now, but it's getting some nerfs here. Smokescreen getting a move downgrade. What will that mean? We don't know. Maybe the stealth won't last as long, etc. And a cooldown lengthened. So that stinks. Water Shuriken is getting a cooldown reduction, which is very nice, and a damage increase. So it looks like they're seeing that Surf is being more popular. So they are giving Water Shuriken a buff, which will be nice, and Double Team is getting a cooldown reduction. So I guess Greninja is kind of 50-50. Smokescreen's getting nerfed, but Water Shuriken, which was already an okay move, is getting a buff there. Alright, and the rest of these are bug fixes. So Wigglytuff getting a bug fix on its Unite move. Starlight Recital. Cinderace getting a basic attack bug fix. Alola Ninetales still doing bug fixes on the Snow Warning. And looks like Aurora Veil is getting some bug fixes as well. Gardevoir getting basic attack, bug fix, and a psychic bug fix. And Cramorant is getting a bug fix on Hurricane. Now, we are getting some battle item changes, which is pretty huge. Avalok is getting a stat decrease. Who cares? But Eject Button is getting a stat decrease. So what this probably is a cooldown increase, I would assume. Like, I don't know how you would decrease it otherwise. Like, it doesn't give you that big of a dash. So, I assume it's gonna still gotta be with the cooldown, right? Golgar is getting a stat increase, so I assume that would be a cooldown reduction. Maybe also increase it a little more. Because like 120 seconds, which I believe is the goal getter, cooldown right now is way too slow. You only get to use it like 3 or 4 times in a match. Not that good. Fluffy Tail's getting a stat increase. Have to see what that's about. And X Attack is getting a stat increase. So we'll have to see exactly what all these are about. I assume Eject Button and Goal Getter are going to be cooldown stuff, but Fluffy Tail and X Attack could be a lot of different things. So in summary, this is kind of what we got going on. Buffs, Cramorant and Garchomp getting some nice buffs. Greninja, kind of 50-50, but I think it's still a nerf on Smokescreen. Smokescreen is very annoying. Slowbro getting a nerf on Surf, which is its best move, and Snorlax getting a bunch of nerfs, and with that, I'm getting nerfed because I like Snorlax. And then we got bug fixes on all these Pokemon as well. So before we wrap this up real quick, though, I did want to talk a little bit about Zapdos. I've heard some people complaining that, you know, they have another thing of balance changes, but no changes to Zapdos. Zapdos too swingy, etc. I've come to appreciate Zapdos more the more that I play. I think it's nice to have something to kind of like fight for, to have like a catch-up mechanic, because I know that there have been a bunch of games where you're just getting steamrolled, or you're steamrolling another team like through the early and mid game, and you know, people are fast to kind of quit in this, even in ranked play and everything. So it's nice to you know, have some motivation in those last 2 minutes, something that could still get you there, etc. Force team fights, everything. But I had a idea for a change. I think I had an idea before that either had to do with separate health pools or how it like changed Zapdos' mechanic, but I have an idea. The most annoying thing for me, and this goes Zapdos, Dreadnought, Rotom, it's all the objective Pokemon. I don't really care too much with the regular wild spawns. It's more the objective ones, because they actually like mean something. You get like a big benefit from them, not just XP. So I think they should have like a tug of war health bar. And by what I mean is, let's say like Zapdos' health is 5,000. You know, I don't really know what it is, but off the top of my head. But let's say it's 5,000. So the way Zapdos' health bar would be displayed is it would have a blue side and a red side, and depending on what team you are, you know, that's the side that you're looking for. Starts in the middle, you got a little icon, maybe it's like a little Pokeball, maybe it's just a little arrow icon, etc. If blue team's doing damage, it's moving towards the blue side. If red team's doing damage, it's moving towards the red side. So if blue team wins the team fight, you know, they knock everybody out, they start doing it's getting low. Someone who was from red team respawns, who died early in the team fight, respawns, comes back in, tries to get a last hit. They would only move the bar a little bit that way, and the rest of the blue team would still be hitting, and they would knock out Zapdos and get it. So, you know, I hope I explained it kind of well, but it'd be, like I said, kind of like a tug of war sort of thing. And you could do that with all the objective Pokemon, Dreadnought and Rotom as well. Have them be like a tug of war, because that last hit is really annoying. Like, you'll win the team fight at Dreadnought, you know, your team will be chipping it down, and then one Venusaur, one Slowbro comes in, uses their Solar Beam or their Surf and gets the last hit, and then, well, what was the point of this whole last 2 minutes where we won the team fight and we're chunking down this Dreadnought just for someone who died early in the team fight to respawn and come in and get one lucky hit. Because they just, you know, you try to stop them. Sometimes I play Snorlax, you know, usually if I see that Dreadnought is starting to get low, I move off to that side to try and use block or something to push him back. Usually by that point you don't have block as Snorlax because you got to get to level 8 and usually you're more like 6 or 7 during the Dreadnought fight, but you know what I mean. You try to intercept them and they just run by you because they know they got to get that last hit. So I think a tug of war sort of scale health would be pretty interesting. So Timmy, Pokemon, whatever, if you guys are watching this, that's my idea, you know. And thank you guys all for coming and watching this, and as always, stay classy, society. Let me know what you think about the changes, and I'll see you Wednesday morning for the Pokemon Direct.